Hey everyone, welcome back to episode number 2 of my series on classroom management. As you can see, I'm back in my car because I'm back to real life. Vacation is over. So the theme for this video is going to be rocking it old school. And before I get into the specific tips, I just want to remind everyone that this is not the be-all, end-all way of doing things. This is just my way. Stuff I've learned that works for me. Okay, so rocking it old school. I just mean that there are some tried and true techniques that teachers have used for a long time that just don't need to be changed or updated because they work. So back in the 1990s when I went through teacher training, our instructors really wanted us to, build community in our classrooms and get student buy-in. And so a suggestion they had for us, and that I used for the first 2 years, was to have students help create the classroom rules and sort of establish the norms. So as a new teacher, that's exactly what I did. The second day of school after the icebreakers, I then had all the students come together and we were gonna build this, community together and value everyone's opinion. And what ended up happening was we took 50 minutes to do what I could have done in 5 minutes. And at the end of that hour, the rules we came up with were pretty much the same rules as every other classroom, because classroom rules are typically pretty reasonable, and the kids came up with exactly what we would have wanted them to say anyway. So I felt like it was a bit of a time waster because I do all these other things to build community in my room, right? I learn their names right away and I have them learn each other's names, and we do icebreakers, and there's learning games and small group and large group instruction. And so really there's a lot of other things we can do to build community. And that whole idea of the kids setting the rules seemed like a little bit of a touchy-feely kumbaya strategy that in reality I didn't even need. And the more I thought about it, the more I realized that we don't make the rules of our work and college environments. So when they get out of our high school classes, there's going to be a handbook of student behavior at their university, or, human resources is going to have a manual that they're to follow. So workers don't create the rules of their environment. They see very clearly what the rules are, and then they follow those rules. So in my classroom, I set the rules, and I, suggest that you set the rules as well. Our rules are very reasonable. Next week in episode 3, I'm going to give you the 4 simple rules I use to guide my year. I'll even have a handout for you to download if you want to see what I give my students. So I guess that's my first old school rule, or old school rocking it. You set the rules, make your clear expectations, and then let's get on with the business of learning. Okay, the second rocking it old school tip is that whole don't smile till Christmas advice, which you may have heard. Now, I disagree with it literally, but I do agree with it somewhat in terms of the spirit. So I don't think they mean literally do not crack a smile until Christmas, because if you're telling me not to smile until Christmas, that's impossible. So on day 1, I'm smiling, hey, how you doing? Learning names, making that first contact of building relationships, because I'm having fun at work and I want them to work hard, play hard for me. So I don't literally follow that advice, but the spirit of it is good, because the spirit of the advice is that it's easier to establish control and then loosen up a little bit than it is to try to gain control of an out of control classroom. So from the very start, what I call sweat the small stuff. I have my rules very clearly stated, and then I enforce those rules religiously for the first month, the first 9 weeks even. So if you have your phone out in my class, I'm taking it from you. If you haven't done your homework, I'm going to one-on-one mention to you that I noticed that and find out what's up with you not doing your work, because that's not going to fly around here. So I'm on them right from the get-go in a very loving way, but I make it very clear that I apply these rules evenly to everyone. And that's another thing. Teenagers have a real strong barometer for fairness. So if they feel like you're, following the rules with some groups of students and then letting other kids get away with stuff, they will not connect with you at all. So they want to see that you are even in applying the rules, and it makes everyone feel comfortable when they know what the expectations are. So sweat the small stuff, at least for that first 9 weeks, and then we can lighten up, loosen up as we get to know each other a little bit later in the year. Third, rocking it old school tip is I assign seats. I know some teachers just sort of have an open seating policy and let the kids pick where they want to sit. I am not that teacher. I will assign you a seat, and every 9 weeks I'll change it for a new seating chart. That first 9 weeks, as I'm getting to know everyone, I actually do alphabetical seating chart, which just helps my brain learn it faster. And the first day of school, when kids come in, I've made an index card, and it has each name for each period, and I've taped them all over the desks all around the room, and the kids come in, and it's kind of like a giant Easter egg hunt as they find their name. What I really like about it is, one, it's showing that I'm super organized, that I'm kind of in charge. I have a plan and you have an assigned seat. It's very easy for the kids to follow that. And then I also like it because it's really sweet. Some of the kids who know each other from previous years will actually like help each other out as the kids are coming in. And they might say, oh, hey, you know, Nick, your seat's over there. Or Sally, I saw your seat back there. And then what I do is one-on-one, just at a quiet time, I lean into that kid who was helping his others, and I say, wow, that was really great of you, how you helped Sally earlier find her seat. Really great. I love seeing that. Thanks. And then I move on. So I'm noticing and I'm building relationships right away while keeping my new world organized and learning their names. So I would suggest assigning seats. Again, not all teachers do that, and that's up to them. What works for them is great for them, but for this girl, I need the right child in the right seat. Now, that being said, once attendance is taken at the beginning of the hour, we often like move seats around, and I've got teams and groups, and we're moving furniture all the time. But, you know, for the order of it, you do have an assigned seat, and that's where you need to be at the beginning of things. And then finally, I want to keep the video short, not too long, the golden rule. That's my last rocketed old school rule. Basically, it's for everything in life. Treat them how you would want to be treated, or how you would want a teacher to treat your own children. And I take that in terms of modeling what I want to do for them too. So I give tons of respect, and then I expect tons of respect in return. Even my respect of the time that we spend together. So they're looking at us for all kinds of cues, from what we're wearing to how we present things to the types of materials we're using. And, sorry, it threw me off. And so I want to model that I'm taking our time together seriously. So right from the beginning of class, I hit the ground running. I'm not on my email. You know, I have the bell ringer projected up on the board, and we go, because I value the time that they're there with me. Just like I want them to, you know, have buy-in and work really hard. Okay. So that's it for me. Work hard, play hard. We rock it old school around here for some of the things. Next week, stay tuned. I'm going to have that handout for you showing the 4 simple rules that can set you up for success. You guys have a great week. I'll see you next time. Bye.